my friends? Welcome back. Welcome back. It's author Joe Holt. We got another Fireside chat coming for you today. It's a live podcast, so I like to interview other D-Live streamers, get to know them on a more personal level. And guess what? Today's special guest, the one and only Tony Rumble. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's up?
Dude, it's so awesome to have you on this show.
Yeah, man, it's nice to be here.
Like your name, we've been interviewing 17 interviews to this point, and close to half of them have said, you know who you need to have on the show is Tony Rumble.
Really?
I'm super excited to have you, man. And I know a little bit about you, but not enough. And I said, well, I know how to fix that. We'll have him on the show.
There you go.
So we're going to jump right into it. What's your name mean to you, and how'd you come up with it?
Well, Tony is my name.
Okay.
And so I just added Rumble to it because it's kind of a variation of my last name, but not quite. So, and Rumble was like, I was playing a lot of like Destiny and Rocket League at the time, and there's a Rumble mode in each of them. Like, so there's like a Rumble PvP in Destiny, and then there's like a Rumble mode in Rocket League. I was gonna make it Tony Ramble because I ramble a lot, but I think Rumble had the better ring to it, so I stuck with that one.
I like it.
And it's catchy, I guess. You know, people remember it. It works well for networking and all that because people like remember that name or whatever.
Oh, it's super easy to remember.
Yeah.
Super easy. So, all right, second question we always ask, and it's a two-part question. How long have you been streaming, and what got you into streaming?
So I've been streaming just since August of last year. And what got me into it was just always something that I wanted to do that I couldn't do because I didn't have the equipment to do it. So I finally like splurged and bought some PC parts over last summer and built myself a PC, started doing some gaming, and then just got into the streaming stuff. I wanted to do just like more podcasting before I got into streaming. But I figured I'd give streaming a shot because it's the kind of thing you can just go live and just do it or whatever. You don't have to have like the whole format. So that's kind of what got me into it. I realized, and I started on Twitch back in August, and I was there for about a month and a half, which it felt like a lot longer. But
right.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, when people talk about a grind in streaming, Twitch is a grind. Because you are nobody, you are a ghost over there. And and I was playing popular games, so I was playing like Destiny 2 and everything, and you're at the bottom of this massive directory. No one even knows you exist. So there's like all this extra stuff you had to do outside of streaming, just to get your name out there and hope that people click on your channel. So I honestly didn't like it that much. I didn't like that part of it. I didn't want to do all that. I didn't want to do the marketing and the promotion and all that stuff. I just wanted to stream. So when I found out about D-Live and I saw how much smaller it was at the time compared to Twitch, it just made so much more sense to me to start here, just to get visibility. I got visibility right off the bat. I feel like I started at the perfect time here.
When did you start on D-Live? Would that be January or sooner?
No, that was it was like the first week of December.
Oh, okay.
Which
2018.
isn't that long.
Yeah, December 2018.
Which isn't that long ago, but in when you look at how fast D-Live's been growing, it actually like is a pretty long time. Like there's new streamers here that are calling me an OG.
Right. Well, I even referred to you as an OG because you were here last year.
Sure. I mean, and I guess there's something to be said for that. To me, there's OGs that were here when it was on the Steam blockchain.
Sure.
And those are the OGs to me. But I understand. But because when I first started here, my first stream on D-Live, I was the new guy. Like that night that I went live, there was no other new streamers that night. Like I was the one new streamer that was on D-Live that night. And staff came in, a bunch of partners came in. It was amazing. So they left a really good impression on me from the first stream. So yeah, I mean, just in that short time, that's how different it is now. You can't even keep up with all the new streamers these days. If you're in that partner Discord, or even I think it's in the regular Discord, there's that channel for like the new streams.
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever look at that, but it's insane. There's no way anybody could keep up with it.
Yeah, I mean, I came over in January with LT Zonda from Twitch, and
Oh, cool.
that's, he came over about the time or a little before you even joined the platform, but he was
Right. He
already a
just did one
partner.
too.
Yeah, he was already a partner on Twitch, and he was like, "Well, I got to make sure this new thing is really what I want." And then about January, we really noticed the platform kind of took a momentum shift upwards, and so he made the leap and came over to D Live, and that's I watched for January, February, and then by 1st of March, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I got an idea what's going on here," and I jumped on the bandwagon too.
Yeah.
But what is it that's different about D Live from Twitch? Like what convinced you to come over? He laughs.
Yeah. I mean, there's what I just said. It was just, the fact that you can just go live, you don't have to do any extra marketing. At least when I was there, I think it's different now. But when I first started here, you didn't need to do any marketing. You didn't need to do any of the networking and the follow for follow crap that you have to do on Twitch.
Hmm.
Um, I just literally, I love that I was able to just go live. I could play whatever I want. I didn't need to worry about playing a game that's oversaturated and not getting noticed, which was huge for me because I enjoy playing AAA titles, and doing that on Twitch is impossible as a new streamer. You're just not going to get anywhere with it.
Hmm.
So that was a big appeal for me. And then the big thing was the blockchain aspect because I've been involved in the crypto space for since 2017.
Hmm.
So that was a big appeal to me. That there was this live streaming platform with an awesome monetization model where you're doing peer to peer payments to monetize the content that you like.
Hmm.
So that yeah, I mean that's like the obvious thing that stands out to everybody, right? But that was like an extra deal maker for me because of my history with the cryptocurrency and stuff.
Well, and I'm actually a cryptocurrency noob. Lino is my first cryptocurrency,
Right.
so maybe we could get into understanding the blockchain, what that means, blockchain cryptocurrency, which is what Lino is, which is what Steam is beforehand. And real quick before we do that though, I Filthy Saint, Dzerks, you guys, I really appreciate all the Lino donations. Just so you guys know, we're going to put in a quick plug. D Live Helps Noah is that hashtag that we're running for this podcast, and the reason is there's a bunch of us doing a fundraiser. It's going to be tomorrow, Saturday the 20th, starting 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But little Noah was born with microtia, which is a condition where he was born without ears and needed multiple surgeries to be able to hear and have bone induction implants. He needs speech therapy, and his father is a first responder, a fireman. And so there's many reasons why we want to support this family. They're actually local to Bearded Leo's hometown, and Bearded Leo with the Good Vibe Tribe is the one putting this on. So 100% of the donations that we've raised this week on all of the podcasts are going to Noah tomorrow. And as of right now, we've raised 55,680 Lino already.
Not
So
bad.
yeah, man. So we really appreciate your guys' donations. We're not going to call them out during the podcast just to keep the flow of the conversation going. But I just want to address that right off. So again, Mr. Tony Rumble, let's talk about Lino. Let's talk about what a blockchain is. Let's talk about cryptocurrency. See if we can't spread some knowledge.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it up to you because I don't
Start
know.
talking about crypto now. Go.
All right, go.
Well, so now an important thing to understand is that Lino is technically not a cryptocurrency right now, because it's on testnet. It's more of like it's more of like a token in its testing phase, right? So it's like we're almost like practicing with doing actual crypto transactions. It is a blockchain. Let's call it a token, but it's technically not even really that. but you are making transactions on a blockchain, so it is kind of like we're practicing here. Um, a true crypto is being bought and sold on an open market, so
Mm,
the prices are the price is fluctuating, and you can also trade it, obviously for other cryptocurrencies and everything.
mm.
So as it stands right now, Lino is technically not a cryptocurrency. That's an important distinction. I think a lot of people are confused still about that. Um,
Well, to interject real quick, what I
sure.
so you're saying on the test net, it's not cryptocurrency yet, but when it goes to mainnet, then it will be because the price can fluctuate from more than 1.2 pennies.
Correct.
I see. And now, what
Because
about
it's at a
this
set
though?
value. Yeah, because it's at a set value, and we are on testnet, it is technically not regarded as a cryptocurrency. It's not, you can't invest in it. So
Well, but you can cash out your Lino for Bitcoin right now.
you can, yes, you can if you're outside the US. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So that's a distinction.
Yeah. And because there's laws, the SEC has some laws in place in the United States about crypto assets being sold for US dollars or something along those lines. Um
And Dzerx asks, are they saying though that they may not move it off of testnet? I do not know. I hadn't heard
They
that.
well, so in the last, I think it was Sam Pepper who was doing a panel on it, and he was doing, he's talking about, oh, Lino might be a scam, and of course Wilson Way got on there because there's like over 1,000 people watching.
Hmm.
So Wilson Way, who's the CEO of Lino, hopped on there on a call, which was super nice. Like, he didn't even have to do that. The fact that he does that speaks volumes. The
Hmm.
fact that he's talking to streamers that he doesn't even to be talking to. Um, he got on there and he did say that like one of the questions he was asked was, could we potentially just stay on testnet? And he did say, yeah, we could possibly do that. I don't know if that's a plan or not, but they said that they could technically continue running this on testnet.
Well, with
To
your experience in cryptocurrency, do you think that would be a good idea or a bad idea?
um it certainly wouldn't mean that the platform would be decentralized. The way to decentralize it would to be release it on mainnet,
Mm,
because then you have a set supply, and that supply can be bought and sold on the open market. But as it stands, the supply is maintained by by like, it's distributed by DLive or by Lino. So it's technically not decentralized right now. So I mean, as from a decentralization standpoint, you do want to see it go to mainnet, but
per-
that comes with the price of the Lino changing in value.
mm.
Imagine imagine you get a Ninja Guinea donated to you during a stream, and by the time you're done with the stream, it's worth $15 or $20, or $6, something like
Ah,
something
right.
drastic can happen in the market while you're streaming and while you're getting donations. So it's interesting to think of it like that.
Yeah, because until now, all of us have had this idea that Ninja Guinea's worth $12, but that's because
And
it's a fixed price.
yeah, and exactly what Dzerk said in chat. How like everyone's saying that because it's blockchain technology, it's a crypto, which is not always the case. Blockchain is just a technology, and cryptocurrency is kind of like a layer on that technology. Like it's the tokenization of the blockchain. So there's a different, there's a distinction to be made there. A lot of companies are using Google has a blockchain department, Amazon
Mm.
has a blockchain department, but they don't have cryptocurrencies. They're just using the technology for different things. So
So, what
um,
is a blockchain?
what is a blockchain? So a blockchain is, man, it's that's a good question. How do I describe a blockchain, man?
I mean, because
Uh,
the way that when people ask me what blockchain cryptocurrency is, my understanding, which is extremely limited, is that it's a type of cryptocurrency that allows anybody basically to track the movement of the Lino in order to have a transparency and keep it honest. Basically,
yeah,
is that correct?
yeah, Yes, it's supposed to create like it. So, well, the main thing a blockchain is a public ledger, right? Like, and the very simplistic explanation of it is that it's a public ledger that displays all of the transactions and activity being made on that chain. And it's also supposed to be encrypted. So it's a cryptographic like hash for each block that's on the chain. Um, and this these blocks contain data, which is the transactions that are being made or whatever is being tracked on the blockchain.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also like a distributed ledger. It allows for peer to peer, like a peer to peer economy. There's all different things you could do with it. Like, for example, Ethereum uses smart contracts. So when you think about anything that requires a contract to be established in any facet of life, you could do that in a decentralized manner with Ethereum, where two parties agree. There's no third party that has to facilitate it or approve the transaction or
Hmm.
confirm anything. It's literally just a peer to peer, and that's it. It's set up to be trustless so that there doesn't it's really the opposite of what a bank is when you think about it, because it removes the need for that third party to be involved in you're going out to buy a cup of coffee, and you pay with your debit card. There's no reason your bank should know what you had for breakfast.
Right.
So that's the problem that cryptocurrency solves, is that when you make when you make a payment to a vendor, it's supposed to work just as digital cash. So you just hand the cash to them, and that's the end of the transaction. Nobody outside of those two parties know that it even happened. Um,
I'll dig it.
yeah,
So you were saying because Lino is still on a test net, it's not a cryptocurrency because there's a fixed price.
right.
So,
And yes, and because you can't use it to pay for other things. I mean, I suppose you can. Um,
well, I've heard
but
some talk that that might actually happen in the future. They're just
I would
setting
love to
it
see that
up.
happen. And I know there's a few streamers here. So you guys know Axie, right?
Right.
So when Axie first started here, she did a drawing of like a ninja, like with a ninja genie or something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine, Arctic Fox, he ended up buying it for Lino. Like, he purchased it for Lino, which is like the most D Live thing to ever happen, right? Because
That's
it's like,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, a ninja genie that was drawn on D Live during while she was streaming, and it was purchased for Lino. Um, so yeah, there is you could absolutely use it like that. But there's a reason why Wilson Way on the last Lino stream, he did mention that we shouldn't be investing right now in testnet. Like, in other words, don't put thousands of dollars into Lino, or even hundreds of dollars into Lino, just to invest in testnet yet, because it's not there yet. You don't want to do that. He said, sure, of course buy Lino, but do it because you want to distribute it to monetize creators on the platform. Don't do it because you want to invest and get gains off of it, because that's not how we should be. Yeah, you don't want, like, it's not quite there yet. Like,
So,
from an yeah.
so if we have Lino, like, is he literally suggesting if we have 100,000 Lino or like LT Zonda, 1 million Lino locked in, that you think that's a bad idea on testnet?
No, I don't think it's a bad idea. Now remember, that million Lino that Zonda earned, he earned it. He didn't buy that. That didn't come out of his bank account or anything.
Oh, I see what you're
So
saying.
there's that. There's that. There's the fact that, like, let's say there's a worst case scenario and this whole thing blows up, and it's what everyone's fear is, that it's a scam or whatever, which I don't think it is, obviously.
Right.
But let's say worst case scenario, Zonda, who's got 1 million Lino locked, even though he will have lost everything that he locked, if in the event that happens, he wouldn't actually have lost any money, right? Because he didn't buy that 1 million Lino.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, and there's a reason. Like, the thing I ask people is, like, why don't you why don't you just put all of your savings that's in your bank account into your Lino account then? if you can make bigger gains every day. And the answer is because it's not trustless yet. It's still it's still centralized, and the Lino team will admit that.
Hmm.
Um, so you don't really want to go down that road yet, but we're going to get there. And they will give us enough notice to unlock. They're going to give us 12 weeks to make the decision if we want to unlock or not once it hits the main net, because you might want to have some liquid Lino so that you could make some trades on the market once it goes live.
Oh, I see what you mean. Because we can't do anything with it if we haven't
Locked.
locked in.
Yeah, if it's locked, you got 12 weeks. Yeah.
Mm. And the price could plummet. It could also change and go up, right?
Yep.
Now, now you were saying like a test net, or D6 was saying like test net coin. When it goes to mainnet, there might actually be a new coin.
Yep.
Do you
That's
think
true.
that that would be the case with Lino, or do you think they'll keep it as Lino?
I mean, they'll probably at least keep the name, right? Because we all know the name Lino, and I think that changing the name would cause some confusion because they already changed it from Steam,
Right, right.
so and that wasn't that long ago. Um, but I mean, I think that now I play like, for example, I play some blockchain games.
Hmm.
Axie Infinity is one of them, and if you're not familiar with Axie Infinity, think of it like Pokemon, right? And you're buying these Axies on the market, or you're buying and selling them, and that price that you're buying or selling them for is fixed to Ethereum. It's not fixed to US dollars. So, for example, if I'm
Yeah.
selling an Axie for say point 0.5 ETH, that price is fixed to ETH regardless of the US dollar value of ETH.
Mm.
So if ETH goes up 30% in one day, my Axie that I say sold for zero point 0.5 ETH, that's now like I have that zero point 0.5 ETH, which is now worth more in US dollars. But the price of that Axie that I bought was fixed to that, like I'm not changing. You're not changing the price that it's worth in Ethereum based on the US dollar price. And I would imagine it would stay like that with Lino as well. Like a lemon is still going to be one Lino. Uh, you know, so I think that the US dollar value of the donations would change. But I mean, think of it how we're using it right now, in its current implementation on testnet. A diamond is still a diamond, regardless if it's worth the $1.20 or not.
I see what you
You're
mean.
you're still excited to get a diamond because it's still more than an ice cream or a lemon. So I mean, I kind of see it playing out like that. Um, and a lot of the Lino will kind of stay on the platform and just be kind of spread around.
Hmm.
You'll have people cashing out, but I think most of it's going to just be uh, you know donated around to creators, which we're already seeing how that works right now.
Yeah, I actually like that because I've even talked to a few new streamers that have come on in the last week, and they said they like how you get 90% of your donations and the other 10% goes back to the platform for people that have locked in Lino. And
Hmm.
she said she really
Yep.
liked it because it encouraged you to donate.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't want to misspeak about this, but I think that this was asked yesterday on that panel, to Wilson Way. But basically, if when you think about when Lino goes to the mainnet and it hits the market and now it's a tradable asset, um, and the value starts changing by locking. If more of us lock more Lino, it will help stabilize that price
Hmm.
because it reduces the amount of supply that can be bought or sold, because it's locked. So it's actually creating like a floor almost of, like it's limiting the supply even more because it's locked in, right? So it's staked to the platform, and it's decreasing the supply that could be sold.
Yeah, and like for me, and again, this like I'm new to cryptocurrency. So what I did was, oh, since January, I threw in a couple $100 each month. I now have locked in 100,000 Lino, and all the Lino that's been donated to me I subscribe to other streamers. I donate it to other streamers. So,
Exactly.
do you think that's a good method?
I mean, yeah, yes. If it like now, I'll be honest. I've cashed out a few times. I needed some upgrades to my stream. I was having some issues running some of the more modern games like the Division 2 and Anthem, and I wanted to be able to play those games on the stream. So I cashed out some, and I bought some new computer parts so that I could build the streaming PC.
Hmm.
And the way I see it, I mean, first of all, it's nobody's business what anybody does with their Lino, if they choose to cash it all out or not. Personally, I is it better to stake it and give back? Of course. Um, but that it's once it's donated to that creator, it's completely up to them to do what they want with it.
Sure.
But I figured that this purchase in particular was in a sense giving back, because I was able to increase the quality of my stream,
Hmm.
which helps. Everyone wins. So
Well, it
everyone who
seems
donated,
ideal.
yeah, like everyone who donated that I used the Lino to buy my computer parts for, they like my whole audience benefited from it.
Hmm.
So I figured that's a good usage of, like I think that anytime you're uh, adding value to the stream, and giving your audience a better experience, I think that that's a totally legitimate use of the donation funds as well. But yeah, I mean, I think that the best way is obviously to lock and give back. Um, because
That.
there might be, when you're giving back, there might be somebody who needs it more than you, and that needs to cash out for
Hmm.
whatever reason. Like this charity stream, like that's going to get cashed out because it needs to be cash so
Hmm.
that we get the operation paid for. So
Exactly.
I think it's a wonderful way to do that. Like if you don't need the money for anything, then give it back. We didn't pay it. Like I said before, like we didn't pay anything. Like I haven't bought any Lino.
Hmm.
I've only given back what I've earned. So
Nice. Well, so how? What is it that got you streaming in general? Because I remember at the beginning of the interview you were talking about you
yeah,
want to switch into more podcasts, but what
right.
actually was the catalyst for you to turn on the camera?
Well, the camera part is because I knew if you wanted to really be like do the streaming thing, you need to you need to be on the camera, obviously. Hey, um,
Zonda in the house.
Zonda coming in. What's up, Zonda? Yeah. So I mean that was a part of that, but I that's a good question. I mean, I wanted like really I just wanted to be talking to people, and have an open dialogue and a conversation. So the streaming part, see, like because I was so used to chatting while playing video games already,
Mhm.
because like I'm more of like a social gamer. Um, that came natural to me, so I just literally just turned the camera on and just started chatting, and that was pretty much it, man. Honestly, I didn't really think too much about it.
So I started streaming to meet people, right, and to encourage people and love
Right.
on
That
people.
too. Yeah,
So I don't know if you can see who just stuck his face in the camera.
I did. Yeah.
But Fatty B53 in the house, y'all. First time ever on Fireside Chats. We're going to have three streamers at the same time. And this isn't to take anything away from Tony Rumble. It's just we're going to illustrate the point about D Live, right?
Yeah.
I turned on the camera, started streaming to be able to travel around the world from my living room and meet new people. I met Fatty B on D Live 6 weeks ago. He's a veteran. He's a streamer, and I said, "Hey, will you be on Fireside Chats?" And he said, "Would love to." So he was our second guest ever on this podcast, and he just called me this past week, and we were talking about hanging out, and he lives 8 hours away in a different state, and he said, "What you offered me your home. Can I come visit?" And I said, "Hell yeah!" And here he
That's
is.
awesome. Yeah, that's great.
So we're spending an entire week hanging out
Yeah.
together. And this is the power of D Live, guys. The power of
Yeah,
the
man.
community on D Live.
Yeah, and to add to that, I don't know if you guys know Vector
Smile.
Rabbit, who's also an OG of the platform. He started here when
Looks
Live
sad.
was still on Steam it. Um, but he had been experiencing a lot of technical issues with his stream. He was having his audio cut out all the time, and just all these issues that were like giving him a headache and everything. So
Yeah.
we finally decided to pool some funds together, and it was mainly our friend Spontaneous Jay
Mm.
who organized this, but he built him a streaming PC, mailed it to him. He just got it this week, and he streamed himself opening it. It was amazing. It was just so like he was so happy. It was so amazing to see that. Going back to what I said about like improving your stream and how it benefits all of your audience. And that's an example of that. How we all thought it would be a valuable thing to contribute Arlino to help him improve his stream because he had been dealing with some issues. So it was just amazing to see that. Like, we mailed him, like literally mailed him a computer, and he was just so happy about that. And that's also that D Live support that you're talking about, man.
Well, and I know like Violent Hippie and a number of the Good Vibe Tribe are actually driving to Houston, Texas tomorrow to
Wow,
deliver some more gaming equipment to another new streamer.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and like tomorrow also, Bearded Leo's channel, we're raising money for young Noah, to get him surgeries, and he lives in the same town as Bearded Leo.
Oh, cool, cool.
Yeah, so it's just like, and then like Fatty B and I, we had a fundraiser together with a number of other streamers, and we raised funds for veterans in his county that he lives in Tennessee, and also raised money through an organization that they found on PAX East that mails gaming equipment stuff to troops that are deployed overseas.
Hmm.
So we're actually like D Live is not just hop online and stream and try to make money and get follows. This is a community of friends and family here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's how I would love to meet some of the friends that I made on D Live in real life, because I mean I have built actual friendship. These are real friendships that we're
Hmm.
building here. They're not we're not just we're not just like supporting each other so that we can get support back, or for some reason, like we are actually friends here. Like we're
Yeah.
building real relationships. And often I just feel like we are hanging out in real life, but there's a screen between us. But I'd love to break that barrier and actually, like, spend time in real life with many people that I've met here. It'd be great.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying with Fatty here. Like we go, dude, what are you doing next week? I don't know. You want to come hang out at the lake? Sure. I mean, it's that easy. And yeah, sorry, Filthy Saint, you're what is it, in Washington State? I think you're gonna
He's
have to
almost
get.
in Canada.
Yeah, you're almost in Canada, man. I
Yeah.
don't even have a passport, so you're gonna have to like come down a little bit closer to the rest of us are. Although Tony, you're East Coast, right?
Yeah, I'm East Coast. I'm in Philly.
Oh, all right. Why do I want to start singing Motown Philly anytime people say Philly like that?
As long as you don't sing the Rocky theme. Had enough of that.
That's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
so I'd like to get into a section that well, first of all, let's talk about you a little bit more before we get too far off on the platform specifically. I see there's a guitar sitting behind you.
Yep.
Do you play?
So I played for a while. I used to have way more than just that. I used to have like a bunch of electric guitars, um, pedal board, the amp, the whole nine yards. I did some home recording and everything. But I sold all of my equipment to go travel, and I never bought it back.
Hmm.
If I were to buy it back, it would probably be the same value as I sold it for, because I bought all pretty good stuff that held its value. But I just it's kind of an old hobby of mine that I don't practice as much anymore, and I probably should.
Yeah,
But
that's what
it's fine.
Filthy Saint said, the same thing, and we got him to play a song on stream.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you'll catch me playing a song on stream, but I mean, it's like and I don't know if you guys know Eric Wilson, but he plays guitar, and he does when he gets a new sub, he'll pick up his guitar, and he'll just right on the spot just do a song for his new sub, which is
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah. Um but yeah, I just keep it there. It's more so a decoration these days than anything. But I have it there in case I feel like dabbling a little bit. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to play guitar. you just pick the thing up and you start playing it again.
Now, did I see a cat come dip in and out of frame?
Probably did. I don't know where she is,
She bailed.
but yeah, you probably did. Yeah, she usually will hop up on here and get her scritches and lay across my arm when I'm gaming. So
What's your cat's name?
her name's Mia, and I have another one named Dewey who you'll never see because he won't ever come in here.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you have a full time job? Or are you a full time streamer?
Yes.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I'm in IT. I'm in IT. I work full time. I'm 9 to 5. So I come home and I usually spend some time with my girlfriend. And then I come upstairs and do my thing. I stream just about every night.
And
So
what is it that you like to stream?
I mean, I'm still a variety streamer. So I switch it up almost every night. I do have like some main games that are in rotation every so often. But I play like shooters, RPGs. I've been playing a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online. Rocket League. I typically like games. Like I noticed that you play sorry, I don't remember the name, but like the truck simulator.
Yeah, American Truck Simulator.
Yeah, the American Truck Simulator, and that's the type of stuff that's right up my alley because you don't have to think about what you're doing in the game too much. You're literally it's
Exactly.
like a second. It's just something in the background that you're doing.
Hmm.
So like on my streams, I like to keep the conversation at the forefront.
Exactly.
So I like to play games where I can read chat and I could go off on just start rambling on a subject or start talking to people,
Hmm.
and I don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm gonna fail in this game because I'm not paying enough attention in it.
Right. I mean,
Um,
even if you roll your truck, it's just
yeah,
it's just funny.
and it's funny, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's I what I found was being like I started streaming because I wanted to communicate with the audience on D Live. And I found that simulators seem to be the best genre because you could pause them at any time.
yes, pausing is huge. Yeah. So and even like there's many single players. Like I started streaming Red Dead Redemption 2, and
Mm,
I found that it was impossible because I had to focus on all the cutscenes, which there are
yeah.
many of, and it just kind of I think diminished what I was trying to do on the stream
Mm,
because I couldn't do all the engagements and I had to kind of focus on the story. So I just stopped playing that completely. Games like that.
Now you mentioned, and you've got a really great radio voice, and you were
Oh,
mentioning that you want to start doing more podcasts. What is it that you
oh
want to
yes.
cover?
So I started a new channel that we actually did our first stream on last night called Awakening. So it's
Mm,
dlive.tv/awakening. And I would like to just cover the quote unquote truther content,
mm,
um, where we are, spreading like, enlightenment content and, philosophy, ethics, politics, I want to do all the stuff that is typically considered taboo to talk about in a gaming stream,
mm.
because people are in fear that it might divide their audience or offend people or whatever. So I want to create so that and that's part of the reason why I'm separating from my Tony Rumble channel,
Mm.
um, because and I want other creators to collaborate on it as well. So I have
Sure.
this kind of plan what I want it to look like, where there's various creators streaming to that channel so that it can be more like a TV channel where you just tune in and then there's this show at this time frame and then the next time frame there's like more content, but it's all kind of under the umbrella of the same type of content where it's like the things I just mentioned, politics, philosophy,
Now
ethics.
it's interesting that you want to put different streamers on one channel. Is that something that I've never heard of that? I mean, does
Yeah,
that still follow the community standards or?
I think so. I mean, as long as there's no TOS being violated, which there is no reason there should be. I don't think that there's a problem with that. I even asked Tidy about it. So,
And what was his response?
well, I like my main question that I wanted to ask him was: is there any specific topics or issues or subjects that are off limits to even talk about on D Live? And he said no. Basically, he said no, as long as you're not say, like, he gave the example of like pineapple pizza. Like, as long as you're not like, I hate pineapple pizza and all the people that eat it, something like that. But he's
Hmm.
like, replace pineapple pizza with like a group, like an ethnic group or something like that.
Sure. Well, and there
Which
is
is
a
like
no.
obvious. Like, obviously, you're not going to do like that's,
Right.
you
Well,
don't do that in real life. Like,
there's a not safe for work option under the stream. Like, so what's the difference between something you can't do
yes.
on D Live or something that you can do on D Live as long as you check that box?
So, what I understood that to be is controversial subjects, and I interpret that to it's like user discretion, right? So you could be talking politics, but then if like say the issue of I don't know, abortion or genocide or something comes up, maybe switch that to X, like something that might offend a lot of people just by it being discussed.
So
Um,
that, I mean, that could be a very fluid thing though during a show.
Absolutely, it's very, yeah, it's very. I think it's very tricky to dance around for sure, and we don't have clarity on it. That's the thing. It's just gonna require seeing how they handle certain subjects, or like what they're telling, like at which point are they going to jump in a stream and be like, hey, what you guys are talking about needs to be marked X right now. So
Hmm.
there's going to be some testing the waters with it for sure.
Well, and obviously, and there is one specific thing. If you cuss a lot, they want you to have that
That
on.
too. Yeah, for sure. And even that I understand to be like, if you're cussing every other word, it should be marked X. But if you're, I think kind of the standard streamer curses a lot, but not every other word. So if you're like being very excessive and talking really foul and
Right.
like filthy, like sexual stuff, then you should probably go X. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
I'll keep that in mind for every time I stream.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Fatty
Yeah.
B All American is a bit surly.
Oh yeah.
He's salty. His alter ego is a bit surly for sure.
And I'm the same way. I have a pretty foul mouth on stream, but I don't think that there's ever a point where my language requires being marked X or whatever.
And then of course the worst streamer on D Live comes in and says, "Hey, it's the ambiguously gay duo.
Yeah.
Easy, buddy.
Yeah.
Easy, easy. Just
Somebody go
because
click that X for us.
just because we're having a bromance." So what is it about D Live community that's got you wanting to switch from gaming to podcasting?
Um, I don't really even technically want to make the switch. I want to continue doing the content that I've been doing this whole
Hmm.
time. I just want to. I mean, I've even started to just this past like couple weeks when I go live, I'm starting out just chatting, and and I think it's maybe something to do with the new influx of the mass influx of new users.
Sure, sure.
And I think that there's a demand, there's suddenly a pretty high demand for that type of content for whatever reason. You can decipher that on your own, but that's simply how it is. You can look at the top content right now, and it's mostly IRL and chatting type content. So I figured I'd give that a shot. And plus I've been having more viewers when I go live, so that I can do
Hmm.
that. Like, before I would just go live, I'd have like one or two people in there, and I would just have to start gaming because there's no one to talk to.
Yeah, yeah.
But now there's like some people. I have like a sizable audience when I go live, and I can just start chatting right away. So I've been doing that. I've been enjoying it a lot. They've been enjoying it. Actually, my viewer count drops when I start gaming because they're there to chat.
Yeah, mine too. I've noticed
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
running the trucks, it's probably 5 or 6 people that like running the trucks, right? But
yeah.
if I turn on these podcaster, I do a full screen, like I call them late night
Exactly.
romances, and just stare into the camera and talk about whatever they want to talk about. My viewership spikes dramatically.
Which is funny, right? Because it's not like you can't. It's not like you're more hindered by playing the truck simulator and what you can talk about. You can still converse exactly like you are right now when you're playing
Hmm.
that. But that's just how it is. Yeah. And I say that all the time too. I'm like, we could, guys. I'm gonna switch to a game. Like, we can keep, like, please keep talking, keep this conversation going. But I'm gonna switch to a game, and then it creates a different environment once you switch over to a game for sure.
Well, I mean,
Um,
again, I am streaming because I want to communicate with the audience. So I like the gaming kind of gets in the way for the most part, most
True.
of the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Well, and you're breaking up the conversation. As soon as you comment about something in the game, you're kind of breaking away from the conversation that's being had. So I understand. I get it. But yeah, I'm not going to change the content that I've always been doing. I'm just adding more of the chatting content. And like I said, I want to touch on some of the spicier subjects. And I want to bring more. And I find that there's a lot of like-minded people on D Live that I can have on like a podcast type thing. Like I was me and Chaos Keith last night, and we were just talking about politics, because we kind of have similar political views and stuff. So we were just talking about that type of stuff, and yeah, and it gives me a chance to grow that channel while I'm doing my gaming streams and whatever. Um, so and yeah, I do want to do more podcasting stuff. It's something I always wanted to do. So I hope that it makes me like a better conversationalist and a better speaker, and hear people like listen better to people, and just improve my social skills, I guess.
Yeah, and I realized like yesterday you brought this up, like you just brought this up that you were having this conversation yesterday, and I thought about yesterday in the morning. I actually was on with Axie and Wee Natty and Dale Bold, and we were having this group discussion about the platform and about streaming. And then last night I was on with Best to the Worst and Got Your Six, and we were, it was semi constructive, but really we were just teasing each other and laughing
Yeah.
and having a good time. But there's been more and more of that like group collaboration between
Yes.
streamers because we're
And
all
yeah.
friends now.
Yep, exactly. And I do the same stuff. I'm always on Discord when I'm streaming, no matter what I'm playing, and I leave it open. So and I like when people pop on like a surprise, like, "Hey, what's up, Tony?" And I'm like, "Oh, what's up?" And then we're just engaging in conversation. It adds like an extra layer to the stream where you're having this
Hmm.
engaging conversation, and your viewers can join in. I like that. I always like I almost prefer that at this point than like over playing by myself and just talking to myself.
Well,
I
that's
like
interesting because I hadn't been hanging out in my voice channel on Discord except for these podcasts, but I think I will start doing that.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's like yeah, it makes it more of like a hangout. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
my friends are hanging out with me. They know they can stop in and whenever they want. I'm not going to be like, "Hey, I'm doing a stream here. Like, let's talk later." Like, you can just pop on whenever you want and talk about anything. I just leave it all open. So,
Nice. Well, so let's get into talking about what's if you're a new streamer or you
mhm.
would like to be a streamer, what are some things you would encourage and what are also some things you would frown upon and are going to hurt you?
uh, well, what I would encourage is kind of ties into what we've been talking about. Um, a lot of people say network, 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 and I would go a step further and say build relationships, make friends with people. Networking almost implies that you're trying to get something out of it, that you're trying to benefit,
Mm.
like you're trying to have it benefit you in some way. Um, what I would suggest is just hang out in streams that you like where you enjoy the person's personality, and you feel you could get along with them, and there's a genuine connection that you have with them, and just start hanging out there. You don't even have to mention you're a streamer, like that. We get it. Like you'll figure it out. Um, and just build those, and it might be a little bit tricky. I think that things have changed since I started here. So of course, what I'm saying, it was much easier to do, 4 or 5 months ago on this platform than it is now. But I think that the same principle applies. If you just go out there and connect with people and make friends, and not expect something out of it, not like do it in hopes that they're going to come visit your channel and donate to you. Um, just literally just build friendships, and that's like my biggest advice. And also always aim to improve your content.
Mm.
Instead of like spending time, doing like follow for follow stuff. Just improve your content, make your content stand out, make your content better, and it will speak for itself. the follows will come if your content's good enough.
And let's talk about that, because there are a number of streams popping up that don't seem to add any actual value to the platform. So how important is it to create unique, high quality content?
It's the most important. It's the most important thing you could do.
Oh,
It's I mean, it's
yeah,
you're
that's a
like,
good
why
way.
else? Well, why else are you doing this if you're not trying to offer some value to your audience? You know, I understand building the community. You know, you could be a part of a community and build friendships here without streaming. But why
Mm.
are you even streaming unless you're trying to create value that people enjoy? Um, so if you're not striving to create better content, you're doing it wrong. Always strive to improve your channel, improve your content, find ways that can help you be more engaging with your audience.
Mhm.
um but yeah, I mean, and one of the things that I have seen in the last couple weeks that I hear a lot of people complaining about all various different things, and those things don't that people are mainly complaining about don't bother me as much as the follow for follow channels that I've been seeing. And not only the channels, but you see a lot of the follow for follow crowd coming into other streams. um and that's something I think comes from these larger platforms where they're way more saturated and it is hard to get noticed. Like I was saying about Twitch, where if you want to get an affiliate on Twitch, you need 50 followers, but you're also streaming for nobody. Nobody knows you exist. So you almost have no choice but to do the follow for follow thing just so that you can get the sub button.
Mm.
Um, and I did that. Like I was new to streaming and I had no idea that didn't work, that the follow for follow thing didn't work. So I did that. And that's why I speak from experience with this. Like I tried that. I wanted to get the numbers so I can get the sub button. And then, then you're left wondering, like, why don't I have any subs? Why do I still not have any viewers? Because you cheated your numbers.
Right,
That's why.
exactly.
And the same happens on a larger scale here where people are getting, they're like, I've even seen streamers basically pay large donations to Turkish streamers so that they can get rated and get those quick follower boost. So literally buying followers. Um, and what does it do? What does it accomplish? Your content doesn't improve. Um, you don't get more engagements. You don't get more viewers. You just get more like all it is a number increasing. Your follower count's just increasing. That's it. Nothing else is happening.
Right, and it seems
What's
like
the
people
point?
that focus on those numbers end up
You're here for the
ultimately,
wrong reasons.
well, and they end up depressed because no number is ever going to be high enough if that's why you're
Exactly.
doing it.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep. You could. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like, what's your goal here? If your main focus is followers, how many followers is it that you want? Let's say 1 million. So you get to 1 million followers, then what? Then you want 10 million. And it's like, yeah, don't make that your goal. The followers should be a result of you genuinely caring and putting forth the effort to make good content. It should be a result, not the goal.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the term is organic growth, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I know this is where we might split a little bit, because I know that you've been you've been mentioning that this new mass influx of users has kind of been ruining that organic growth that a lot of streamers have been experiencing. Um, and I personally, I haven't seen that. Like I still have a relatively low follower count compared to many others who have gained, like, I've seen some gain about 1,000 to 2,000 follows just in the past couple weeks. I haven't. Like, definitely my follower count has increased and I've been getting more now, but it's nothing close to what many others have been experiencing. Like I still haven't even broken 1,000. And I've been here for more than almost 5 months.
Hmm.
So I'm still seeing that organic growth where I'm not getting any raids. I'm not getting any, like, nobody's helping me get followers. Um, besides a few promotions here and there. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still getting the organic growth. There's no, like, nobody's there that just gave me the empty follow. Like I believe that those people are just gonna unfollow eventually, which I hope that they do. I hope that I encourage anyone who followed me just expect something in return to please unfollow me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I haven't been seeing that insane, sudden, rapid spike in growth that many other streamers have seen. So it's hard for me to say that it hasn't been affecting my organic growth because I'm still growing at the pretty much the same pace as I have been all the time this whole time.
Yeah, and well, something that I'd like to state on that particular vein is this. When you have, let's say, 500, 600 followers, and you'll have 50 people or less in the stream, you can have a conversation with those people. But as soon
Yeah,
as your numbers spike to thousands, and there's hundreds of people or more in your chat at any given time, the chat scrolls so fast you can't even have a conversation.
yeah. Well, and you could do like slow mode or whatever, which helps. But
Right, but
yeah,
if your goal is to have a conversation, the more people you have in there, the harder that becomes.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when you watch like these bigger Twitch streamers like Shroud, they can't even communicate. Like they can only communicate when they're chat when they enable slow mode and sub only. Then they can start talking.
Mm,
But otherwise, it's impossible. Like he's never going to see your message if you go in there and try to talk to him. So yeah,
yeah,
there's that. Sure. And of course, I think that's part of the experience once you get to that level is like your chat is there almost more so to talk to each other, like amongst themselves, and
right.
they know you're not going to really be able to talk to them much because of how fast it moves. So there's like there's that. But I mean, that's I agree with you though. I'm here to I like being able to respond to almost every message in chat, and I try to. I can't always, but I try to. I mean, even once you get like up to like 30 to 40 viewers in a really active chat, it's hard to respond to everything.
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of questions, if you guys have specific questions for Tony Rumble, please start filtering them into chat, and we'll address them as we go.
Um, but yeah, I did want to mention the follow for follow thing because it's really important to know that as a new growing streamer, that by doing that, you're only harming yourself and your own growth by doing that because it's not going to give you the results that you want to for the reason you're doing this streaming thing because it's not going to help your follower, it's not going to help your viewer count, and it's not going to you're not going to get more subs or anything. It's just there's my cat. um yeah, it's not going to help the reason why you're here unless that is just to purely to gain the most followers you can. And there he goes, he's done, he's out for the count.
Get out of here, Pepe.
Yeah.
Fatty loves his cats too.
Yeah, I know that made me miss my cat.
Yeah.
That's what she does. She jumps up here, she wants her scritches, and then she's out.
Just so you know, she's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I've heard the D Live staff and guardians talk about the follow for follow, and we all agree that it's not beneficial. It on other platforms, it has been not only beneficial but necessary. But on
Yeah.
this platform, it's not beneficial
Not
and
necessary.
it's not necessary.
No, it's neither. And not only that, but it will actually hurt your chances to get partnered because I know for a fact that Cheech is monitoring those follow for follow channels and seeing. And he said, I don't care how big the list gets either. So just so you know, if you're out there and you're in those channels, they're watching. Steph is watching, and if they catch you, if they know that you're doing follow for follows, you're gonna greatly hurt your chances to get partnered.
Exactly. And they said that specifically. They're not going to promote spam channels. They're not going to promote follow for follow channels, and you're not
Which
going to
is
be
great,
partnered.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
I really like that.
Yeah, I respect that. I've always been a proponent of them being like much more strict about who they partner. And my whole thing has been that not so much the number requirements. That's like the main thing people are concerned about.
Mm.
I would like to see those increase too, but my main thing, and I've expressed this to staff too. My main thing is I would like to see them exercise more discretion on the quality of content that they partner. right? Like
Mm,
it makes me cringe when I see a partnered streamer who has a shitty mic. It sounds like garbage, and their webcam is awful, and it's all like not adjusted properly, and they're not streaming at like a high bit rate, and it looks like crap. It just reflects, in my opinion, it reflects poorly on the platform that
mm.
staff has said, like, yes, this is a verified partner that we chose to represent the platform, and they're making this shitty content. Not I'm not saying anything personal against the people as a personality doing it, as as a person. I'm just saying I would like to see a bit more professionalism when it comes to the quality of your stream that they're partnering. That's all.
Yeah,
And
because I mean, ultimately, if somebody's new to the platform and they're jumping around and they've been taught that the verified partner, global partners, represent the platform,
yeah.
there should be some level of consistency. I find in your production value.
Yeah, and there should be a level of professionalism, and the partners should be raising the bar for the standard of quality that you see on a live stream.
Sure,
Like,
sure.
And
and
that's
that's my main, and I'm big into that, and that's why I told you I got like a separate streaming PC so that I could stream, like I could be running my I could be running games like the Division Two and Anthem, these triple A titles at max settings, and also streaming at 1080p, 60 FPS, like that. And that stuff is, maybe not everyone even notices it, but that's important to me to be representing the platform by having a high quality stream.
What were you gonna say, Patty?
and I think the best way to uh, get it to where all your partners have quality streams is to have something like Twitch, and one of the requirements be a viewership average. Because if you have a
Yeah,
terrible stream, you may have 100
sure.
followers, but you're not going to have 100 viewers.
That's a great point. Yeah, and a lot of people hated that about Twitch, was that they required the like 70 concurrent viewers to even apply. But I mean, there is something to be said about that, right? If you have a high quality, if your stream is high enough quality, you're going to get that high viewership as well. Like, it's going to be a result of it. Like, like, if you have a shitty stream, simply that many people are not going to watch it. Um,
But I feel
but
like right now on D Live, that could be problematic simply because it's still a smaller, growing platform. And up till now, it's been streamers supporting other streamers. Obviously, with the recent influx of viewers, that's going to help bump everybody's viewership numbers.
Yep.
But, even on Twitch, I think the average viewer count per channel, because of saturation, is like 6 viewers per channel
Sounds about right.
average. So that's obviously even with a massive platform, you can't make those numbers anymore because of the saturation.
Yep. Yep. Oh, and I just want to touch on what Best of the Worst just said. I tell people that all the time.
What do you
Um,
say?
he said, I think a big misconception in the streaming world is that not everyone should be a streamer. And that's a great point. I like a lot of people are like, I can't grow. Like, I've been at this for months. I'm not growing. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't get my follower count up. I can't get my viewer count up. And sometimes I think it's okay to just tell people, like, it's just simply not for everybody. Like, it just might not be for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay.
All right.
Streaming's not for you. But it's important to tell people that, because this stuff's really stressful, man. It could be really stressful on people. It could cause a lot of like mental like issues. You're thinking like, why don't people like me? You could get depressed. It could cause a lot of issues mentally. And I think that it's important for us to tell people, like, instead of encouraging them to do something that maybe it's not for them, encourage them that maybe it's not for everybody. It might not be for you. And maybe you should look to like spend your time doing other things. I don't know if that sounds harsh or not, but
Well, I mean, if you think about the numbers side of it, we need way more viewers than streamers, or
that
it's
too.
not going to work.
Yep.
So let's cover best of worst. Is actually he's asking some really great questions. I don't actually understand this question. I don't know what CCB is, but he says, so if you want to be a gamer streamer, then what would you say to help with CCB rather than doing chats only?
Concurrent viewership, that means.
Oh, okay. So if you
Um,
want to be a game streamer, like you and I are saying, you'll
yeah.
get a better audience if you engage with them. He's saying, some of these battle royale type of games, you have to focus.
Yes.
So what would you offer
Yeah.
for advice
I
for them?
I would say find a niche.
Mm,
Find like you know, if you don't want to be stuck in the same game, but you've also built your audience around that game or that one or two games, and they have some similarities. Maybe they're both BRs, or maybe what they both have in common is they're both shooters, something like that. Find your niche and stick with that. Like my niche is more on the aesthetic side. Like I try to keep games that have not just the same genre but the same like aesthetic, because I have like this 90s type of aesthetic on my channel. So I could play like all types of retro games, anything that kind of has this like vaporwave or like retro wave kind of feel to it. Works really well. I mean, of course, I don't only do that, but I found it. You know, I found that like getting a niche and just carving that out, playing games maybe that like nobody knows what they are and they enjoy your personality and they want to see, you know, what is it about this game that that Tony likes or that Worst likes. You know, I don't know. So, you know, it doesn't always work. It's a lot of it is trial and error. Like there's certain games that I really would like to play more of on stream that I know that there's not much of an audience for. So a lot of it is trial and error.
Well, it also seems like as long as you're having a good time, the viewers are going to be as well.
That's the main thing. Play games that you really enjoy and that bring out your personality, and then your audience will enjoy it because they're mostly there for you. So if you play games that bring out that personality, where they can, you know, which is what drew them to you in the first place, I think that you'll have some success there. But you know, I think there's a lot of you know, if you grew your audience on a BR game, I think it's going to be tough for you to switch to like an MMO. If you wanted to play one of those, sure, you're going to see a drop off in viewership. But you got to play. I mean, you got to with each game that I switch to, you got to think about like how important is it for me to play this game because I want to, and how important is it for me to play this game because I want to maintain my concurrent viewership. Sometimes I honestly don't care. Like,
Right. And well, and
yeah,
like Best of the Worst said, he was talking about setting a precedent. So if you play the same game for 3 months and then try to switch, it's going to affect your community.
yeah, absolutely, it will, for sure. It always will. It always will.
Well, and I can give you a dramatic example. Like I said, I was watching Luke over or LT Zonda over on Twitch, and he built a following of over 400,000 people, mainly playing one specific game, which is Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
And when he started switching up the games, his channel crashed. So
Yeah,
I think
that's a lot of growth for one game too. Like, and that's another thing I would recommend is like start out as a variety streamer.
Exactly.
Establish early on with your audience that there's no one game being played here at all the time. Like we like to explore different games. You know, you won't ever like. And one thing I really like about streamers like Rook, for example, when you jump into his channel, you have no idea what he's going to be playing, and it adds a level of excitement because you enjoy his personality and you want to see him play all these different games. So, and that's something you have to establish early on, though. So I think that there is a point where you've grown such a large audience on one game that it is going to cause some problems if you want to switch to something totally different.
Exactly. Well, somebody asked a while back, I believe it was Worst. He said, "What's been your favorite moment on D Live so far?"
Mine?
Yes, sir.
Oh man, my favorite moment.
See, I'd have trouble answering that too.
Yeah, it's like because one moment. I mean, I can't even pick a favorite stream. Like it's just been the whole thing. Like, I mean, my first stream here was like so crazy because, like I said, I was the new person on the platform that night, and like looking back, and it wasn't even that long ago, and like looking back, it was so yeah. That wasn't my best moment, but I mean, it was just a memorable one for sure. That's really hard to answer.
Every day's a holiday. Every meal's a feast.
It's really just been this whole experience. It's been this whole experience, growing and making friends here and building relationships, and making like actual friends that like even if I were to stop streaming and I never do a stream again, I have built invaluable relationships here that no amount of donations or money or Lena or whatever will ever be able to match, because I've built these actual strong friendships with people.
Mm-hmm.
I could essentially stop streaming today, and those friendships aren't going anywhere.
Right. I
Sure.
mean, and that's why like we've got Fatty B co-hosting this show is to just to illustrate that very point. We met on D Live 6 weeks ago. We've been hanging out. He was on the podcast as a second guest, and now here we are in real life hanging out. And we will continue to be friends regardless of if we keep streaming or not.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, the streaming to me has been almost just like a vehicle to gain these, these invaluable relationships with others. So yeah, I'm so grateful for all the love and support that I've received here, and the friendships, like I said, are invaluable. Um, that's why, like, it personally offends me, like, when people talk about like D Live being a scam, because they, first of all, they're new to the platform. They don't have that value that we got out of the platform,
Hmm.
where we've built these relationships. It's like, that's what offends me. It's like, I don't care if it is or if it isn't, because if this thing all crashes and goes down tomorrow, I still have this awesome group of friends that aren't going anywhere, and wherever else we decide to go, we're going to be together. So
Yeah.
that's
So
a big
like
game that I got, you know.
one example, like Sandling Gaming, who just joined chat, is actually
Yeah.
my 1 year older brother.
Oh, cool! Wow.
And Bad Doggy, who we called before this stream started to get Fatty B on the call, is also my real life brother.
Wow.
And my mom is on this platform. You saw Mama
That's amazing.
Dabs in here. You know, Dab
Oh, that's your
plays.
mom.
No,
Oh,
Mama Dab is Dab
right.
plays
Of
mom.
course,
But
of
I'm
course.
saying, like, if you go around this platform, there's husbands, wives, kids,
Yes.
mothers, friends. I mean, this is a genuine community built on
Yeah.
real friends and real family.
Yeah, I mean, OLR's in here. His wife is also a stream. You know, they do the couple streams, and they're, yeah. I love that personally. I think that's great.
Exactly. And so we'll cover this again real quick, guys. Did you see the hashtag DLive helps Noah? Basically, what we're doing is there's this young man named Noah who lives in Bearded Leo's hometown. Bearded Leo is part of the Good Vibe tribe, and they're putting on a fundraiser tomorrow. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're basically raising money for a young man who was born with microtia, which means he was born without ears, and he's needed several pretty intensive operations to install bone induction hearing equipment behind his ears, and that's quite expensive. And we're helping the family raise funds for the surgeries. Because the again, the insurance will only cover a certain amount of it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in chat for you guys. If you don't know about Noah, that YouTube video will cover everything with this young man and his family. His father is a first responder, which is he's a firefighter. And, you know, like Fatty and I have a similar tattoo. It's "I've got your six." And that's to say that we support each other. You know, we support first responders and military and law enforcement and firemen and EMTs, basically everybody that's in a community providing value and helping the community grow. We support them. So here we are on D Live with our community raising funds. All 100% of the Lino raised on my channel this week is going to the fundraiser, and currently that's 56,000 Lino, more than that with what you guys have donated today. So I really, really appreciate every penny. But again, it just illustrates that community and friends feel that Tony was talking about. And I mean, this isn't just lip service, guys. We are real life friends, and D Live has been the vehicle for that.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, for example, who are some people that you've met on D Live that you would continue to be friends with?
Oh man, so Eric Wilson, who's we call each other stream mates, because
Nice.
we'll often just go live and just be both streaming different things, but we'll be in discussion the whole time. Oh man, there's just so many. Spontaneous J,
Yep.
Rory Fett. I've made friends with a lot of the OGs of the platform that were here before I was here, because that was like, they were the verified partners and the early adopters who were creating like the quality streams before I was here, and so I made a lot of friends with those guys. Yeah, Rook, Vector Abbott, um, mainly other like variety streamers and such. Um, but yeah, I mean we're a tight group. We're in contact all the time on Discord and like constant contact with each other and everything. So
Somebody wanted to know if you're going to start doing Game Show Wednesday again. And what is that?
I've been doing that. Yeah, that's we do Jackbox games on my stream every Wednesday night. And I also have it set up so that I'm screen sharing it in a Zoom room, and I encourage other other streamers that are playing along to stream it as well, so that they can basically just grab the screen of uh, the display of the game and they can stream it themselves on their own. Because it requires like the more audience participation, the more like kind of crazy it gets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've been doing those every Wednesday. They're a pretty big hit. People seem to enjoy them.
Somebody asked how you found D Live, and they weren't here for the beginning of the show. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I actually found D Live. I started out on Twitch, and I started getting frustrated with Twitch and looking to other platforms. And then I switched over to Mixer. I decided to take the plunge and move to Mixer. And I was there for about a week. And I was reading on the Mixer subreddit, somebody was complaining about something. I don't remember what it was, but there was in the comment section, it said something about this platform D Live, where you get to keep all of your earnings and you can start earning right away. You don't need to be partnered. Like you can earn on your first stream. And I was like, that sounds interesting. And then I looked into it. And by the way, the comment was made by Rory Fett, who I've become very close with since I've been here. And he was the one who he didn't even know. Like he would have had no idea that comment on Reddit was the reason why I discovered the platform. So constantly be spreading the word out there. You never know how you're impacting people. But I came and checked it out, and then I saw it's a blockchain streaming platform, and that was just, I was like, all right, I'm in. Because like I said, I had the history of investing in cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology and stuff like that, so it had an instant appeal to me. And then on top of that, it was even smaller than Mixer, and here I am on Mixer and thinking like, oh wow, I'm going to grow so much faster here. I'll get so much more visibility. And then on D Live, it's like I go live literally the first night on D Live. I've got like 10 viewers, which was like more than I ever would get on Twitch. And instant engagements, staff came in, donated, like it was just amazing. I had such an incredible first experience here. It's kind of sad that those days are over now, because like I said, there's so many new streamers that are starting like just in one day that it's impossible for staff or even the verified partners to go in and visit them all. So yeah, I feel like I've been in such a great time.
I mean, I've noticed that too. And as you know, I've been here since January, so 4 months. And as the platform has continued to grow, I'm subbed to like 40 people this month. And wow. It's just impossible to get into 40 streams a day.
Oh yeah. I'm not even subbed to that many, and I can't even visit all my subs all the time, Yeah, it's tough. Especially like a lot of the friendships that I've made, like a lot of my closest friends that I've made here, we all stream at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I told you I keep my Discord channel open so we can all just kind of jump on and have a chat. But like I'm not able to, like Best of the Worst, he streams at the same time as I do, and I can't always go and visit him, and I'd love to visit him more. But a lot of the friends that I've made, they're all on the same schedule, and it's hard for me to visit everyone,
Well, and that's a good point to bring up, which is we encourage everyone to be on Discord, because you can send direct messages, you can have phone calls and video chats. You can find all the information you need to about D Live on their Discord, but also, right, use Twitter, use Instagram, use Facebook. Send, like I hop on Discord before I do anything else in the morning, and I respond to every direct message. I go into all the servers I'm following and catch up on news. And I just send people, like if I know somebody's going through something medical, right, or a bereavement, or maybe they're having issues with depression, and the last time you were on their stream, they look kind of bummed out. then you can reach out to them quietly, right, through social media, through a direct message, through an email, and just say, hey man, I love you. How, I hope you're doing well. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah. And another thing that I wanted to mention, I have a particular viewer who's in there every single night, and he's waiting for me to go live every night. And he deals with what I perceive to be pretty severe depression. And he makes that known. Like, he tells us how lonely he is, and how much he values my channel, and how much it means to him. And it's really like by him doing that, it really made me have this, like, I guess, like, realization that you honestly have no idea how you're impacting your viewers. You don't know anything about what they're going through. And unless they tell you, like this particular viewer, he's telling me that he's very lonely. He's going through a very difficult time. My stream has been helping him deal with his depression, which is insane to me, by the way. Like, that's incredible. That I know that that's a thing that happens, but like, for it to be my stream is very humbling. I don't know what it is I'm doing in particular, but it's impacting him positively, and that's great. But yeah, I mean, you never know, and there could be others like that I don't know how I'm impacting them, because they don't tell you. So, and that's why it's so important to maintain like a positive positive vibe and an encouraging vibe when you're streaming, and like
Sure.
have a friendly attitude and everything, because you don't know how you are impacting anyone.
I mean, do you want to talk about that, Mr. Fatty?
I mean, that's 100% true. I mean, I don't have a ton of commentary on that. I mean, but yeah, I agree. It's definitely a vehicle to help other people. It's a vehicle where people get to, interact, and it's definitely good for depression. That's one of the reasons I tune into so many streams, and I've personally been helped in that. If I'm having a hard time, I'll come home, hop on stream, and talk with somebody and kind of get away from it all.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and he just made a really great point, which is, not only are we helping other people, you guys are helping us. Right? Like, our viewers being in the channel, chatting with us, encouraging us, that's helpful for us.
Yeah.
And I have issues with major depression, mainly because of this traumatic brain injury that I have. And, I had Flow Driver on this past week, and she was even talking about it and said, and Luke LT's on it too. They have anxiety issues. They can have depression issues. And there's a lot of our viewers that have similar concerns, and we're supporting each other with what we're doing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and it helps you as well, right? Because you're reflecting the energy that you're putting out there. So if you're putting out positive energy, your viewers are going to give that back to you, and it's going to make you feel better about whatever you're going through as well. Of course, there's a need for mental breaks from streaming. But for the most part, and another thing that I want to mention is, like, when I was streaming on Twitch, there were nights where I just didn't even want to do it. And I wasn't streaming every night. And there was nights where I was just like, man, I just don't feel like doing the grind tonight, man. I don't feel like it. It feels like work. It felt like I was clocking into work. Because I was talking to myself the whole time. Nobody was there. And you're thinking, like, is anybody going to show up tonight? Will I have people to talk to? It was just hard. It was tough. And now on DLive, because I fostered this community and these friendships and everything, I have to pick nights that I don't stream, because I almost rely on it. Like, it's worked wonders for, like, my socializing, my social life and everything. It actually helps me, like, talk to people in real life, connect with them a little better.
Oh wow, I hadn't actually considered that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because think about it. You're putting yourself out there. You're broadcasting yourself out to a bunch of strangers, and you don't even know who's watching you unless they pop up in chat and say something. You have no idea who's even watching you. It's a very bold thing to do, especially if you're, like, really a shy person and not very outgoing. It's like you're broadcasting your whole personality, your room. This is my room. This is where I spend all my time. Like, it's my house. Like, it's a very personal thing to be broadcasting yourself.
That's true, but it's also, I find, like, as an autistic person, I find it's easier to sit in my house in my safe space,
sure,
and open up, than I would to actually meet a stranger in town and do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, where you're already in an environment you're not familiar with. Yeah, I completely understand that. Um, but yeah, I mean, this has become something that it has benefited my life instead of it being this quote unquote grind where, I'm trying to, I don't know what I was trying to do on Twitch really. Trying to do this really. This is my goal. Like I'm already at my end goal Twitch. I'm already there.
Right.
You know? My end
Right.
goal on Twitch was to get enough viewers in my channel every day where I have somebody to talk to while I'm gaming. So I've already done it, I've already met that goal. So now,
Nice.
now it's just like I just keep doing that, and we'll see where it goes. Like that, that's how I see it here. So
Well, and you hit on a point earlier, which is, streaming is challenging and it physically, mentally, right,
yeah,
technically, and
yes,
I actually find I really enjoy my time when I'm streaming, but it is way easier to be a viewer than a streamer.
for sure.
And
Yeah, yeah,
equally as rewarding, but for different reasons, I find, right? I really enjoy coming into all my different favorite streamers channels daily, and they light up when you show up. You get
yeah,
a charge out of it, and
yeah, absolutely.
it's incredible.
And even to donate to them, it feels great. Like you're giving
Hmm.
them some pleasure. Like you're showing them your appreciation, and they're receiving it, and they're very humbled by it. And to see that reaction of like how much filled with joy they are that you're showing your appreciation, it's really rewarding to even to give is very rewarding here.
Exactly. Yeah. And somebody actually said in a very condescending way one time in my chat, well, what's a lemon? I mean, that's just a penny. Why do people get so excited about a
Don't get me
penny?
started on that gets me so
Yeah.
triggered.
And I was like, all right, listen, let me tell you why. Because it shows that this person cares. Because they're sharing a positive energy with you. It's not about the value of the
Yes.
action. It's about the action.
Yeah, and plus, oh, that's so ignorant. And there were I won't mention any names, but I've seen streamers here that are like they'll turn off their lemon alerts and they won't even acknowledge lemon donations.
Hmm.
And I even heard one explain why he said something like, "Oh, if somebody handed me a penny on the street, I'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, why are you giving me a penny?" And he'd like throw. He's like, "I'll just throw it. Like, what am I gonna do with a penny?"
That's so
Like,
ignorant too. I mean,
so
like,
ignorant. Yeah.
I'll give you a
Like,
very specific example. This week we've been raising money for little Noah, right, to help with his surgery. And by the way, that's on Bearded Leo's channel tomorrow. Well, some people they only have the Lino they've earned from clicking on that chest on the mobile right now, right?
yeah,
Those free Lino. And
exactly. That's
it
another good
means
point. Yep.
it means as much to them to donate every single Lino they have
Yes.
as it does to a larger streamer who can drop a Ninja Genie without blinking an eye.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, and it's when you think about it as it's a it, it, it's a tokenized way. Like it's a monetizing the time that you've put into to viewership, right?
Exactly.
So like you've earned the person saying like fuck that penny. It's just it's nothing. I would throw that on the street if I got it. Well, that person that what that quote unquote penny is actually that person rewarding you with the time that they've spent viewing your content.
Exactly.
So
It's
it's so
huge.
ignorant. All you're doing is like pissing on their time that they've spent to watch
Exactly.
you. They don't even have to be watching you. So I mean, it's far better than getting nothing in return for the viewership. It's far better than that.
Right,
And
and
that
that's
means
why we tell people don't worry about your followers, don't worry about your donations, worry about
yep.
engaging in a real way with the people in your chat
Give,
because their time is what's important.
yeah, and you know what? I had a friend who I brought over from Twitch, and he only watches D Live. Like he's only on D Live when I'm live. Like he'll only watch
Hmm.
my channel, and all the other content he's watching is on Twitch. He just goes right back to Twitch when he's done when I'm done.
Hmm.
And he'll watch my channel while he's doing homework, and so he's mostly lurking. Um, and I don't even know when he's watching or not because he doesn't really engage much. But this one particular time, out of nowhere, he donated a diamond, and I was like shocked. I was like, "Whoa, where did?" Like, I know for a fact he didn't buy Lino to donate to me. So I was like, "How did you get a diamond?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been sitting here the last like couple weeks, lurking in your channel doing homework, and I just kept farming Lino, and I got 100 Lino, and he just gave it back to me."
Yeah,
And
and
it's like
that's
that's
he's giving you a
$1.20. That's $1.20 that he didn't pay, like he didn't have to pay for, and he was able to monetize my content by just by watching.
and he's giving you 100% of his available Lino.
100%. Yep. And he gave back 100. Yeah, and that's he gave back all of his time that he invested in me. He gave back into a monetary form, which is incredible. You can't do that anywhere else.
Exactly, exactly. So let's see. Any more questions in the audience? We answered all the questions that have been put out up to this point, but definitely willing to answer more questions about D Live or Lino, about Tony, and in particular about Fatty B, who's sitting here with me in the studio.
Y'all don't want to know about that guy.
He's good people, of course we do.
Apparently, you can't follow while you're hosting someone. Interesting. Okay.
Well, people can't follow you while you're hosting someone.
Yeah.
Which is a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
But right, and I've actually heard other people mention that, and I feel like that's actually a mistake on D Live's part, right? I think, I mean, obviously that's a programming thing; it could be easily remedied.
Yeah.
But you sharing love shouldn't inhibit you from also receiving it.
MT Coiner says, "How can I start streaming on mobile?" You can get the Streamlabs. I believe there's a Streamlabs app that you can download, and you just put in the stream key for D Live just as you would for any other platform. It's pretty easy. That's how you see all the IRL streams. They're just doing that. You just get the broadcasting application. I believe it's Streamlabs. You can do it through.
Wow, I wouldn't have been able to answer that.
It's actually pretty instant. Like you just put it in, and I don't know how the alerts system works with that. Probably just through Tidy Labs, I would assume. I think it just works. You just put it on the overlay or something. But yeah, you could do the mobile streams right away.
Yeah, the capture card, Sandlin, that's if you want to stream with a gaming console.
Yeah, or a PC. Yeah.
Yeah, and use your PC to do so.
Yeah.
I think someone was telling me maybe PS4 you could stream directly from the console.
You can on Xbox.
You can Xbox too?
Yeah, but your ability to do overlays and stuff just kind of doesn't exist.
So your production value wouldn't be as high, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting a capture. I mean, another thing is like, there's almost like no limit as to how much you can spend on streaming equipment.
Exactly.
But it is kind of like the more money you put into it, the more like the higher quality it's going to be. So there definitely is like
exactly.
It's definitely an investment for sure.
I mean, and I've heard a number of streamers talk about this who have started streaming on D Live this year, much like myself. And the price is somewhere around $3,000 to $4,000 US. That's
about right.
Yeah.
And and another goal, like I never had a goal in mind to like make streaming a living or anything like that, or like earn X amount of money doing it. But what I always thought would be nice about streaming, if you could get to this point, is to basically monetize your hobby of streaming and gaming, right? And it's amazing once you get to that point where you can afford to buy new games with your earnings from streaming, or like I said, like parts or something to upgrade your stream. It's pretty amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah, and we're not suggesting that you have to save up 3,000 or 4,000 to start streaming. You just buy one piece at a time, and,
Exactly.
and like for instance, I've had problems with the video lagging on some of these live podcasts. And it's because my video card can't handle 3 monitors and everything I was doing. So if you've noticed, there's been 0 lag this live podcast. And it wasn't because I have the money to go buy a new video card. It was because I spent $5 a month to upgrade my Discord chat, my bandwidth, and I've turned off one of my monitors. So I'm using less of the video card's memory. So I'm able to accomplish the same goal just by being smarter, not by spending more money.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And guys, look, I started streaming this year. Matter of fact, I started streaming March 1st, and I've now streamed 50 days straight.
Wow.
And the reason is because I find interacting with the audience to be very invigorating. I love doing these live podcasts, but the way I learned how to do it was by going into other streamers' channels who are doing what I want to do and
Yep.
asking them how.
Yep. Just ask questions. They always Streamers love talking about streaming, and they
Hmm.
love talking about what equipment to get and how to start out. It's always like nobody will ever shy. No, like there's never going to be a streamer that you ask and they're like, "Get out of here, man! I'm not answering those types of."
Right, not on D Live.
Yeah, no, definitely not here at least. But yeah, always ask questions if you're interested. We love to help others get started.
And
Um,
don't be frustrated by the learning curve because there is a
yeah,
huge learning curve. When I
just
started
start.
using
Yeah,
OBS, man, it can be
yeah, it's
overwhelming at
tricky.
times.
Oh yeah, but there's so much information out there to get started. So, I see a question. Do you watch TV? What is your favorite TV show? I don't personally. I don't watch like TV. Like I've been a cord cutter for a while. I watch. There's like certain series I'll watch, but I don't subject myself to commercials. I get like a really
Hmm.
bad energy from
Yep.
being subjected to like any kind of like brainwashing or anything like that, or consumerism. So I try to avoid ads or commercials as much as I can, which is why I don't watch TV. But yeah, I'll watch like some Netflix series or HBO or something like that. I guess
I mean, I
currently,
feel the same way. I quit watching
yeah,
TV in 2011.
yeah, that's. I mean, a little. It's been a little bit sooner for me, but yeah, it's. I start thinking about how much of my life I've spent being subjected to ads and corporations targeting me as a consumer, and it makes me cringe when you think about the total amount of time that you spent in your life just being targeted as a consumer, and it's sickening. So I tried to cut that out of my life completely. Um,
I agree. I agree. So someone asked, is there much of a crypto audience on D Live? I've got loads
oh
of
yeah.
cryptocurrency knowledge to share with people.
Oh, please do, please do. There's a high demand for that right now, and because Lino is in testnet, and a lot of people have many questions about how this stuff all works and what's going to happen when it goes to main net and hits the market.
Hmm.
And I believe there's a high demand for that kind of content, for educational crypto content.
I
So
believe,
please,
yeah,
yeah, please
absolutely.
do. I will fully support you if you do. If you do that, I've there. I don't know if you guys know Pygaz. Pygaz is a streamer who does like market analysis and charting. He plays all different blockchain games, and I was like one of the first to really start donating to his channel and like getting his promoting his channel. And he's been growing so fast.
Can you link him in the chat?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, Pygaz.
So if you guys have questions about crypto in general, is this the guy to go to?
Oh yeah, I mean, and there's others too. There's another guy that I brought over here named Mitch Ray, who's very popular on YouTube and other Twitch, who also does charting. So if you're a trader, if you're a crypto trader, um there's several streamers on D Live that every day do for hours. They'll have their charts up and they'll be doing all the TA, the technical analysis.
Hmm.
So if you're a trader, this is a great place to create content and view content in regards to crypto. So there's some very, very knowledgeable people here in the crypto space.
Yeah, and
But
like Liv just said, and I've talked to her off stream some, and they, her and her guy have been living off of Bitcoin for over a
yep,
year, and so they know a lot about doing local Bitcoin transfers into banks and things of that nature. And they've been actually teaching me quite a bit about it.
yeah, that's great. And I mean, if I got into Bitcoin not to make money or not to profit or be a trader. I got into it for the philosophical aspect of it being it being a solution to have a peaceful revolution where we take back control of our currency, and get it out of the hands of the elites that are controlling the banking system and everything. And so to me it's always been like a philosophical solution to achieve more liberty and freedom in our money and take back control. And that's why I got into it, and I didn't think about like getting rich off of it or anything. um but yeah, I mean, if you've gotten to the point where you can make a living off of Bitcoin, you're doing great.
Now, we always like to toss in a few, just little tips on D Live with Lino. And the first is if you'd like to donate to your streamer, your favorite streamers who are offline, you can go to any replay video and donate Lino.
And which is probably a better way to donate to them when they're offline than just sending the direct the direct transfer through Lino, because they get that content bonus too when you donate to their VOD.
Right, and then also still
Yeah.
10%
They
of
get a little
those
bit of
gets,
yeah, so they get a little bit of that 10% that's taken back.
well, I was going to say that 10% benefits everybody on the platform with Locked In Lino.
Yeah,
So it's a way to support the community as a whole.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree, MT Coiner. I'm in the same boat as you. It changed my life as well, and that's why, you know, if you're doing cryptocurrency content here and you're educating everyone on the platform about crypto, I will fully support you, because that, I think, is there's a very big demand for that, and there's a big need for it as well. And we're in such an early stage of cryptocurrency that it does require a lot of education for this to catch on. If this is going to catch on to the appeal to the masses, it's going to require education, because it's not that easy to get into it. There is a learning curve. You know, I compare it to like an elderly person learning how to make an email in the early 90s. You know, how to send an email in the early night. Like, to them, it's like their heads in the clouds with it. They have no idea what the hell they're doing. But it's easy. They could do it. It just requires that educating. So you know, that's why I fully support any crypto education content, because I think it's very, very important. It's very valuable, especially if we're all here long term. And Lino is going to be on mainnet, and you know, we could all be potential traders because we all hold Lino. So
Right, and then another thing that I always like to add as a tip for the audience about Lino is, depending on where you buy your Lino, you're going to pay up to a 30% transaction fee. So, like on Apple, if you're using your cell phone, you're getting for $100, you're going to get about 2,000 less Lino on some of the platforms like the cell phones and stuff. So if you're going to buy Lino, buy it from DLive or buy it from your wallet, and you're going to actually pay the smallest fee possible.
yep, great pointer.
I mean, like, so a specific example was like a month ago, I bought Lino on my phone for $99 and I got under 6,000 Lino. Then I bought Lino on the computer for $97 and I got almost 8,000 Lino. And I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Well, what happened is 30% interest versus 4% interest charge. Let's see if there's more questions here. So MT Coiner is again just illustrating that his knowledge of crypto, which is incredible, because
That's a very broad knowledge of crypto. I don't even have, like, I'm more of like a market guy. Like, I'm just into markets and stuff and trading. I'm not as knowledgeable in the technical aspects of it. I understand the economic utility of crypto and blockchain and decentralization. That's my main appeal, but the technical stuff, I need more educating. So
now I would like to talk about this a minute, because I see he's talking about building crypto miners, and I can tell you the reason that the chest is currently disabled on the computer platform of DLive is because people were mining the cryptocurrency, and I think that's frowned upon.
And the staff has been has voiced this several times, but they want it to be clear that there's no mining involved right now, like, because the supply is pre-mined and it's already like being held and distributed. There's no, like, the chest, opening the chest isn't mining crypto. Mining crypto is you're creating coins that weren't there. You're literally creating value by transferring the amount of like you're using for example, your CPU power to generate coins that are not there to begin with, to add to the supply. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
I'm a noob at this, but I understand that Lino said they're going to limit inflation yearly to 6.5% growth. So would that effectively fix the mining problem?
I believe so. Yeah, it's proof of stake. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that should. I mean, that's I think how you would kind of compensate for the supply already being mined and distributed. if I'm not mistaken. But MT Coiner knows what he's talking about. He's probably going to be able to drop some knowledge on that.
Yeah, there's something going on with D Live right now, guys. Like it says there's
Why?
0 viewers, even though there's people clearly in chat talking, and they're saying he's
Oh,
getting an error button when he clicks on follow. So
interesting. Okay.
not really sure what's going on there, guys. But again, there are issues sometimes with the software platform, with OBS, right? With my computer, with what there's all kinds of little things that can get twitchy on you when you're streaming, but it's to be expected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not really something that we can affect.
So
Yeah.
your sub button and everything are gone too.
Yeah, so I don't know what's
Definitely a side error.
yeah, and that's no big deal, guys. That stuff comes and goes, and again, it's a new platform that's growing. We're definitely pushing the limits of the platform, given the influx of new viewers and streamers. So it's just something that's going to be growing pains, right? And I don't mind. I'm fine with it.
Yep, it's part of adopting a technology in its early phase, and it's really in its infancy stage. Um, and I think for it being in such an early stage, it's quite amazing. Actually, it's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That they can actually handle this many influx of viewers at once. I think is a great start.
Yeah, exactly. So is there anything else that you'd like to cover that you don't think we've touched on? Because I don't always know all the right questions to ask.
Not real. I think we had a good discussion here, man. Not off the top of my head. I think I touched on the follow for follow stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And stressing the importance of growing your community organically and how much more rewarding it is than just trying to get as many numbers as you can for whatever reason. Yeah, just continue being genuine people and showing support to each other because you genuinely enjoy the content that you're donating to. Don't do it because you expect something out of it. Never expect anything from anyone, really. Just do it to genuinely show love and support.
Yeah, and one thing that Fatty and I have both talked about and that we do is when we have our stream up so we can look at the chat, we have it so that we can't see how many people are actually in the channel watching. Because
right, that's great. You shouldn't, because
we
it's
want to give the same production value whether it's 1 viewer or 100 viewers.
Exactly. That's the biggest tip that I give to people starting out. When like the question of like, how do I get more viewers, right? I'm just starting. I have 0. Nobody knows I exist. I'm at the bottom of the page. How do I get more? Well, as soon as you go live, act like you have 1,000 viewers right when you go live.
Exactly.
Act like there's 1,000 people watching you, because as it stands, you have 0, and you need to get that number to 1 first. You need to get 1 viewer to hang out and stay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just sitting there looking at that 0 on the screen and you're saying like, well, nobody's in here, so I'm not going to talk. Why bother wasting the energy? Guess what? You're not going to even get that 1 person to come in, because as soon as they click your channel and they see that you're just sitting there doing this and just clicking around and you're silent, people have very short attention spans. 10 seconds, they're out. If you're not saying anything in like 10 to 20 seconds, they're out. They're going to go somewhere else. They don't know you. You haven't said a word yet. Why would they stick around and waste their time?
Yes.
To get that number up, you always be engaging, always be like acting as if there's a ton of people watching you. And there should be no difference between having 1 viewer and like 1,000, because you should be providing the same content. Also think about your VOD. Think about like, we're not quite there. We're not at the point on D Live where Twitch is, where the VODs, you can see the chat and all that, and you can actually just watch a VOD and enjoy it like with the chat and all. But think about your VODs and the fact that people can donate to them, right? Provide quality content VODs.
The video on demand is what we're talking about.
Your video on demand. Yeah, your video should be, I should be able to click your VOD and still enjoy your content because you're sitting there like, I don't know how many viewers on that, like were on the VOD or how many people were chatting, but I should just know just by your VOD, just by watching your previous stream, what kind of content you're creating. Dude, I can't tell you how annoying it is when I see streamers that are just sitting there and they're not saying a word.
Mm-hmm.
They're just sitting there, and it's like nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch you just sitting there staring at a screen playing this game. Be personable, be a personality, display your personality, talk, just ramble, just talk about literally anything.
Mm-hmm.
Give people incentive to join in on the conversation, you know?
Well, and MT Coiner asks, do you plan your streams in terms of scripting?
No.
Yeah, and I don't
Not
either.
Not really. I when I do that, it'll go less smoothly than it would have if I just had gone live and just started talking, because I'll be thinking too much about like I'm supposed to say this, and then after that I'm going to say this, and then I
Right.
have like some kind of thing I'm reading from. It's not genuine in my opinion. It's not like people want to watch you because people enjoy live content because they don't know what you're about to say, like what's going to happen next.
Exactly.
And scripting it kind of removes the excitement of that, in my opinion.
Well,
So
and like on these live podcasts I'm doing, originally I was trying to come up with at least 10 questions specific to the individual. And what I realized was I could just ask a few basic questions in the beginning, and the conversations always naturally develop.
yes, and the questions come out of the something that the guest has said, and you want to ask them a little bit more about that. Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're a great interviewer, and I'm learning a lot just by doing this show because I want to do similar type of content on this new channel I've started, where I'm interviewing people, and I've never done that before. I need to become a better interviewer. I'm more of just like somebody who just talks, you know.
Well, something, just a tip that I could give you that I've learned is you have to listen.
Hmm.
You have to stop thinking about what you're going to say and truly listen to what they're saying, and then they'll reach a natural pause in their speech
Hmm.
pattern, and that's basically your spot
Right,
to be
that's your
able to
cue.
interject.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because overlaying multiple people speaking gets to be very confusing.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good tip. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so any other questions, please ask them in the chat. We're definitely we've been going 2 hours, which is impressive because I didn't even realize that. But if you guys
talk.
have any more questions for Tony Rumble or myself or Fatty B, our guest co-host, or anything about D Live in general or Lino, now's your time because we're about ready to wrap this thing up.
Yep.
But I'd like to cover one more time before we do, while we're waiting for any follow-up questions. The hashtag DLive helps Noah that you guys are seeing around DLive right now. That's all culminating tomorrow on Bearded Leo's stream. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a link here in the chat. Definitely, if you like supporting DLive and the community and people in general, this young man Noah was born with microtia. It's it means he was born without ears, and he's needed several surgeries to help him hear. He's also needed speech therapy, and the costs are obviously mounted for the family. His father's a first responder, he's a firefighter. And so Bearded Leo found out about this young man in his hometown, and we've been raising money all week. We've been raising Lino on different channels. And tomorrow on Bearded Leo's channel, he's calling it Bounty for the Beard. And we're basically going to shave Bearded Leo's face, which is going to be amazing. He's going to be the unbearded Leo. And it's all for a good cause. There's hourly giveaways. There's special guests. It's going to be a party. The Good Five Tribe is in full effect for this one. And so if you any Lino that's been donated today, any Lino that's been donated the entire week on my stream, which is currently over 56,000 Lino, is going to Little Noah tomorrow. And Bearded Leo is going to be giving the family a certified check for the funds. And so we encourage you guys to stop by the channel tomorrow, Bearded Leo's channel. I will be hosting him, so if you just come to my channel, you'll be able to find him quite easily. But if you're going to donate, by all means, hang on to your Lino and donate directly to the stream tomorrow. It'll increase the amount of hype, the viewers, right? It'll help us on the D-Live main page to get more attention for this incredible charity event. And our target goal is 500,000 Lino, just so you know. So I believe that's easily doable.
Yep.
And regardless of how much we raise, whether we hit the goal or not, every penny's going to the family and will be helpful. Thank you for those diamonds, Coiner. Really appreciate that. All right, guys. So I think we're going to wrap this up. I mean, this has been a really incredible live podcast. Tony Rumble, man, I really appreciate you working with us, coming in with all the love, dude. I really appreciate you working with us. We had to reschedule his interview from last weekend, and I think this went great, man. It's been really great to get to know you.
Yeah, man, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad I got to do this. Yeah, I hope it was somewhat insightful at least.
Well, and I'll definitely be a new viewer of yours. I've continued to hear your name promoted by other streamers that have been on the podcast. And so I was curious if, when that many people in the community are speaking that well of you, you're doing something right. So I just want to say congratulations
Thanks, man.
for setting a positive example for the streamers on D-Live.
That means a lot. That's the goal.
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, guys.
Well, thank you for having me, man.
We're gonna sign off now. I love you all. I'm going to go to full screen and just wrap this up. So I'll be right back with you, Tony, in one moment, friend.
Cool.
All right, guys. So this has been Fatty B53 and author Joe Holt on a first ever special dual podcast on Live Fireside Chats. We'd like to again thank our guest Tony Rumble for stopping by. We'd like to thank every single one of you for your time. Your time is the most important commodity that any of us have, period. And when you spend your time hanging out with us and chatting with us, honestly, it's the best thing we could ask for. So thank you very much for being here today. We have more fireside chats. Every few days, it seems like we've got more and more. It used to be Sunday only show, but there's such a demand for it now. We're doing more and more of them. So just stay tuned. If you haven't followed the channel and you enjoy these sort of podcasts, definitely click follow. Tony Rumble just donated a ton of Lino to little Noah in the chat. So if you guys would follow Tony Rumble, he's a retro gamer. He's an incredibly kind gentleman, and you could definitely learn a lot from him. And we've also linked Bearded Leo's channel in the chat. That's where the fundraiser is going to be all day tomorrow, starting 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, this has been author Joe Holt. This has been Fireside Chat. Special guest Fatty B.
Yeah, guys. Hey, we appreciate everybody coming out. Appreciate all the donations and everything everybody's done all week long for Noah. That's a great cause, and we really appreciate all the help.
Absolutely. And if you guys have been missing Fatty B53, the All-American, that's because he's been down here in Arkansas hanging out with me on the lake. He'll be back home sometime this weekend, so you'll definitely be seeing more of him online. And appreciate you being down here, man. It means a lot to get to know you.
Oh, man, it means a lot to get to come out, and it's one of the wonders of D-Live.
Exactly. We met on D-Live 6 weeks ago. We're both military veterans and country boys. And so it's been a lot of fun to make a new friend like this. So just another one of the incredible things you can do on this platform is actually make real life friends. And like even Tony said earlier in the interview, even if this whole thing went belly up tomorrow, he's got these friendships that are gonna last a lifetime. So definitely, he said kiss him. That's probably not gonna happen, Worst.
Not gonna happen.
Probably not gonna happen, buddy. But anyway, thank you all for being here. We love you all wherever you are around the planet. I wish you all the best, and aloha for now, guys. Thank you very much.
See you guys.